Well, hey there, crafty friends. It's Erica at Catherine Pooler Designs. We're going to take a look at our new Wintery Mix collection featuring the copper and bronze ink pads. This collection is a mini collection featuring the Peaceful Deer stamp set, and you can see that here with the deer all stamped out. There's 3 different deer shapes with beautiful patterns on them. It's very classy and elegant, and the coordinating dies. Then we have the Folk Star stencil. That is a layered stencil. It's got 2 layers to build a beautiful background. Then we have the Loving Words sentiment stamp set. This one's going to be great for post-holiday or telling people that you're thinking about them. And there's a winter wishes in there, but you can really use that year-round. And it has coordinating dies as well to pop your sentiments up. There is the 10 Punch Snowflake cover plate die. I love that one. It has beautiful texture for the back of your card to add a snowflake design. It looks gorgeous with the direct-to-paper technique, and also it's just really pretty as a white-on-white detail for a winter-inspired card. So let's go step by step with Catherine in creating a snowy scene card. So we're going to start with that 10 Punch Snowflake cover plate die as the background. She grabs some adhesive sheets from Sizzix. Now this is a sticky back paper. She's cutting it down with the Joyful Word die, and she's going to turn that Joyful Word die into its own little custom sticker. So you peel off the backing, put it on your cardstock, and once you've got that all adhered, you can go ahead and run that through the Big Shot. So now she has that joyful word cut out with adhesive on the front. And you can just peel away the backing. Now that the front of the word die is covered with adhesive, Catherine grabs the Sparkling Sugar Sprinkles. Now this is a glitter mix from Wow. It's super, super chunky. And so she is rubbing that down onto the die so that it will adhere really, really well. And ta-da! Whoa. Oh my goodness. It's so sparkly and pretty. Now looking at the way that was sitting on the background, Catherine decided she wanted to add some more layers. So she went back with the adhesive paper from Sizzix and made a few more joyful word dies to glue together to create more depth to the original die. But admittedly, this was a little finicky trying to glue together the sticky paper layers. And Catherine thinks maybe just using traditional adhesive, like a wet glue, at this stage would have been the better plan to give her a little bit of wiggle room in getting all of the letters lined up, but it did come together in the end. So now that word die is complete, it is time to assemble this gorgeous wintry snow card. Catherine put some Barely Arts glue on the back of the 10 Punch Snowflake cover plate die and centers that on her card base. And now it's time to decorate and embellish. She cut out a circle with the double duty circle dies, stamped her secondary sentiment on that piece, and adhered her layered joyful word die right on there. So now it says Joyful Winter Wishes, and it is really, really pretty. All of that glitter is playing into the snowy, wintry vibes. So it's time to continue the decorating and embellishing. And as you can see, Catherine has pre-stamped some of the deer from the Peaceful Deer stamp set. She did some in bronze, some in copper, some in gold. She's got quite an array. She's got some blue ones, a Daydream, and she die cut all of those as well as some of the other pieces in the set. There are these little vines, little snowflakes. There's some little flowers in there. Lots of little pieces that we added to help you be able to fill in your cards, create backgrounds, and make really fun scenes. I think that little holly and berry stamp in metallic How pretty is that? It's like a little bow tie for the deer. And now the card would not be complete without some sequins. Nova Scotia is the just right mix here. All of those icy blues are going to pull in some more pops of color in this relatively monochromatic card. And here's where we obviously needed your votes to add the little skylight stamped holly or no. Catherine decided no, and her card was complete. How about that glittery joyful? So before we take a look at the next card with Catherine, let's look at the Wintery Mix Sequin Bundle. This features the Zermatt Sequin Mix, so like some little snowflakes in there, wintergreen, buttercream. Then there's Seattle. This has a lot of bronze, copper, and gold, a really pretty one with the metallics. And then the Nova Scotia, which we saw earlier, which is icy blues. All three of those mixes are so great for winter card making, and you are going to love using them together. I'm going to give you a little heads up about this next card. You are going to want to hang out and watch till the end because you know how things go sometimes in the craft room. They don't always turn out exactly how you planned. So for this card, Catherine grabbed the frosted window die. This is a CP classic. You may already have it in your crafty stash. And it is a circle of snowflakes. So it is absolutely perfect for a winter scene. So here's something that can be a little controversial sometimes when we're live. We love a white on white card. And when you're doing a snowy scene and a wintry card, white on white seems like the way to go. But very often you guys will chime in and say that you'd like more color, a little more contrast. So Catherine starts out by taking her Skylight ink pad and using the direct to paper technique to just swink up that background and add that pop. She sets that aside and then goes into the Loving Words sentiment stamp set and chooses her sentiment to stamp on the card. Fun fact, I made that sentiment set. Yay me! So Catherine grabs her trusty stencil and stamp tool from Sizzix so that she can stamp her sentiment a couple of times and make sure she gets a nice, clean impression. Since she pulled Skylight out to do her background, she decided she should check the color wheel to see what color she could use along with it and pulled Daydream, which is the darker blue-green spa color, for her sentiment. Now, if you are a follower of Catherine, you're gonna probably know what's coming next. This card is just screaming to be a shaker card. Catherine absolutely loves a good shaker. So she is going to glue on an acetate layer to the die cut layer to create a window. And that snowflake window is just so pretty. So with every good shaker card, you need lots of foam tape to give space for the sequins to shake and move around. We always have so much chat about how much Catherine loves her foam tape and certainly is not shy about what she uses. We're pretty lucky that we have a good supply of it here in the studio, and we can always grab more if we run low. Did you think she forgot the sequins? It looked like she almost did, but thankfully she hadn't pressed it down. She put in her Zermatt sequins, lays the background on, and presses everything down. Ta-da! Look at that. So pretty. So now it's time to embellish the card. And again, Catherine goes back to the stash of pre-stamped and die-cut metallic ink deer that she had on hand. I really like how this card is coming together. It's kind of giving me the vibe of a snow globe with all of the snowflakes and the sequins, and now this deer that she's going to pop on to finish off the card. But guys, best laid plans. Here's where things got a little, well, they might have gone a little sideways. So have you ever gotten to this place where your project is complete, but something's just not quite right? Yeah. So Catherine didn't love the skylight background. But what she did love was the joyful that she made on her first card with all of that sparkling sugar. So back to the Sizzix adhesive paper and a little scrap, and let's try again. Catherine makes another piece of sticky paper, this time super easy, no die cutting needed. Just make sure it adheres to your cardstock. And then she grabs a scrap of paper to help her not make too big of a mess. Although I have to say, I went in our office afterwards, guys, and there was glitter absolutely everywhere. But just hold tight, because I think it was worth it. So those Zermatt sequins that she had in the card, she did salvage those out, sprinkles them back in, and now it's time to re-adhere everything. Oh, goodness. Now, I don't know. You can let us know in the comments whether or not you preferred it with the skylight or without. But again, going back to that love that I have for white on white wintry card scenes, I think those Zermatt sequins and all that glitter are just really popping on this new version of the card. And if that wasn't enough shimmer and shine for you, Catherine decided to add just a couple more little pops by putting some Zermatt sequins in the centers of those little snowflakes. You can just never have too much sparkle and glimmer on a winter scene card. So I hope you feel inspired now to grab the new Wintery Mix products and then check your crafty stash for some CP Classic winter products that you think might pair up perfectly. Catherine used some really good ones today, but there are a bunch in the shop. If you go to shop.catherinepooler.com and type winter or snowflake in the search, you can see the different products that we do have available and make a shaker or another winter scene card yourself. Thanks so much for joining us, and don't forget to leave us a comment. Let us know what your favorite tip, trick, or technique was today and what you're planning on making next in your crafty space. Here's a few more cards to inspire you. Hope you will come and visit us again soon. Subscribe, like, and share this video with your other crafty friends.